Welcome to the second quarter report for 1989, and welcome to Dallas, headquarters city of the new Bank One, Texas.
Well, when I found out about it, I jumped up and down on my bed, and I sat down and thought about it and jumped up and down on my bed again.
I haven't been able to think of the appropriate words yet. It's somewhere beyond fantastic and euphoria and all the other stuff.
So our number one job is just to relax, and for the first time in a long time, have a lot of fun. We are fixed.
We're glad they didn't get us. We're glad they didn't get us. And we're real glad they didn't get us. We're all yours, Bank One. Yay!
Yeah, this group looks like a group that needed a party.
I don't have any problem with you Yankees.
Well, those Yankees received a Texas-sized welcome on July 5th, the day the 20 former M-Corp affiliates, reorganized as the Bridge Bank under the FDIC, finally found a new home and a permanent name, Bank One, Texas. That's Jim Gardner and Tom Hoagland making it all official. You're going to meet both of them in just a few minutes. In fact, we have lots to show you from the week Bank One came to Texas. Also in this quarterly report, we're going to take you to Columbus for some rather unusual entertainment to introduce a new product. In Milwaukee, Bank One joins the Bucks to reward kids for scholastic achievement. We'll go to Cleveland, where Bank One captured some impressive airtime, and the Bank One College Spring of '89 class may have to take this show on the road. Speaking of being on the road, I'm sure you've noticed we are on location, as they say in the television business. We thought all of you would like to see a little bit of the new Bank One, Texas. This is the headquarters building in downtown Dallas, one of 64 offices located in 29 cities and towns throughout Texas. As you can see, there are still some major sign changes to be made, and that's going to be happening over the next several months. But in spite of a few old logos, this really is Bank One, Texas. And July 5th was the day 5,700 employees really began to feel the change. In every town, Texas employees were invited to special orientation meetings designed to familiarize them with not only Bank One facts and figures, but with the Bank One culture and philosophy. Employees watched a videotape about Bank One and had the chance to get answers to their questions.
How are we going to keep on operating and things like that? Things as far as customers are concerned are going to be basically normal.
We hope all of us will encourage our customers to stay with us, and that we are going to try to minimize any disruption to the customer in terms of asking the customer to not have to get new checks.
The answers were fielded by senior staff members, 60 of them in all, from the old Bank One banks. And at the end of each meeting, employees received a copy of the videotape to take home to show families and friends, along with the ever-popular Bank One T-shirt.
Hi, I'm Karen Gallo, and I'm part of the Processing Center in Dallas, Texas, and I'm proud to be part of the Bank One team.
The fact is that what they see today is really what's going to happen in the future. We are exciting, we are fun, and we have a great time, and we make money.
And I think everybody's very impressed with the organization, the retail and the small business emphasis that y'all have. And just the overall professionalism that was demonstrated at the presentation.
Just to see the effort that was made on the part of the original Bank One people. We're Bank One people now too, but just to see the effort that was made on their part to welcome us really makes you feel positive about what's taking place.
In Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio, employees gathered in their main office lobbies to meet corporate leaders and be introduced to the new president of Bank One, Texas, Tom Hoagland. In Houston, Group Chairman Dick Vermillion got right to the heart of the matter with lizard boots for John McCoy and a Stetson hat for Tom Hoagland, both of which fit and were worn.
I guess the biggest descriptive phrase we've heard is that I've never seen so many smiles. It's been a long time since the Houston Bank has had a lot of things to smile about. We've been through the ringer over the last 6 years, and just to see the cheeks going up or the mouth going up instead of going down is probably the biggest single difference that you notice as you walk around the bank. Everybody's happy.
In San Antonio, Bob Davis presented Hoagland with a bronze bust of an old Texas sheriff, symbolizing the independent, tough survival spirit of the Old West.
Well, Tom, I think this group also has that same experience and spirit that it will bring to Bank One, and it will bring to this community and to this state going forward to make it a better place to live, a better place to work, and yes, a profitable organization, no question about that.
Throughout the week, the whirl of rallies, meetings, and dinners seemed best summed up in one sentence.
There's a lot of spirit here tonight, and if we can't get it done, it ain't going to get done in Texas. And I really believe that you are the people that can do it.
Thomas Hoagland is joining me now. Of course, he is, as we mentioned, the new CEO of Bank One Texas, coming to Texas from being CEO of Dayton, chairman. And, Tom, I think you can echo John McCoy's feelings about these are the people to get the job done here in Texas.
Well, Penny, as you know, when we came down to Texas 2 or 3 weeks ago, we certainly had that conviction, having just met some of the people, a few of the people in the due diligence period. After 2 weeks in Texas, I know I feel even stronger about that position, that is, these are the people to get it done, than ever before. I've spent most of my time really traveling around the state, meeting as many of our staff as I could, have been to Houston, to Austin, to San Antonio, to Fort Worth as well. Certainly, it's a big state, but universally, the people I've met, the staff I've met, have been very capable. They're excited to have the opportunities they think they do with joining our organization. Certainly relieved to have the awkward transition period behind them, and really charged up, ready to recharge, maybe would be the best way to say it. These are the people who can get the job done.
Now, the interesting thing about Texas right now is perhaps we're seeing a little bit of a shift with all the employees are now getting used to being Bank One Texas. The job now is to get the customers used to it.
That's right. All of the staff at Bank One Texas have a role in that. Obviously, any customer who comes into a Bank One Texas office has an opportunity to not only talk with our staff, but to see the expressions, to feel the sense of excitement. We all have an opportunity to communicate that this is a different relationship now. I'm spending my time, in addition to talking with employees, to meeting customers in many cities. I attended recently a reception for customers in Austin, luncheons in Houston, luncheons and dinners planned soon in Dallas. That's a very important process. We do need to convey a sense of continuity, stability, strength, interest to our customers. And there's only so much that I can do, or that John McCoy can do. All of the staff at Bank One Texas have a very integral role in that process.
Now, I have to ask you before we leave, what happened to the hat? I didn't see you without it for a whole week, and now you're not wearing it.
It's not from lack of enthusiasm. It is back in my office. I do have it. I do look at it. I do wear it. And maybe in a future video you'll see that on.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Tom Hoagland, the new CEO of Bank One Texas. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Mari Way. I left Bank One 2 years ago to come to Texas, and I'm just thrilled to be back with Bank One. Hi, y'all.
I think we have the people here right now. We've just been waiting for a name, and now that we've got a strong company behind us, I think we're ready to get going.
Yeah.
Because we've been waiting around.
Any minute now. I mean, we're ready.
We're ready.
Hi, Bank One. We're from the Las Colinas office. Welcome to Texas.
Hi, I'm Jim Dandran, President, Bank One Maryville. We're the best performing bank in the Bank One system. Here's our trophy for last year. I dare you to beat us.
Well, we'll accept that challenge. We have to figure out how you win it first, but, that might take a day or two, but then we'll get after it.
A lot of complaints I've had from my customers is maybe the competition is not treating us right, not giving us good customer service, and it looks like Bank One is going to be great in that area. I'm real happy.
Well, here in the Dallas main office, it is back to the business of banking, back to the business of serving customers. And what more appropriate way to get back to business than to talk numbers? This is the quarterly report, and there are quarterly numbers, and John Westman is here with them. Actually, this was just an excuse for John and me to come back to Texas.
Yes, it was, Penny. I had a chance to enjoy some more good Texas food last night.
We are having a good time in Texas, we admit it. But let's talk about the numbers, and we will, as always, start with net income for the quarter.
second quarter earnings for Bank One Corporation were 91.3 million, Penny, which is about 9% higher than last year's 83.6 million. We had the same kind of comparisons with earnings per share for the quarter being 70 cents. Last year, earnings per share were 64. As a reference point, first quarter 1989 earnings were 67, so we're up 3 cents from the first quarter.
Great. And as far as the ratios?
Well, the ROA looks very, very good. Again, we're at 1.46, which is really a very, very strong performance and something we can all be proud of. Our return on equity, again, is staying well up above the 17% level. It was 17.2 versus last year's 17.69. I think all that means is that we had slightly higher growth in our equity over the past 12 months than in our total earnings.
Now, as far as non-performing loans, we've talked about this on a quarterly basis for a couple of quarters now.
Yes, we have. At the end of the second quarter for 1989, our non-performing loans came up 5 basis points from the end of March to 1.45%. This is up from 1.17 in 1988, and while we are concerned with the rise in non-performing, we've also seen this occurring in many other banks, and I think part of what we're seeing here is the effect of a slowdown in the economy that a lot of people have been predicting is going to happen and is happening. And I think what it signals for us is that a little more caution going forward in terms of our lending is indicated, and we'll try to manage that number down.
Now, of course, you've realized we do not include Texas numbers in these quarterly numbers. When will we start figuring Texas into the earnings?
Well, there's really two times when you're going to see Texas going into our earnings. Initially, you will see Texas affecting our earnings beginning probably in November and December, and at that time we'll see an impact on our earnings per share, but really not on our return on assets or our ROA. I think we'll see beginning right from the very beginning an improvement in earnings per share because of the Texas acquisition, but we will not fully consolidate Texas numbers for probably 2 or 3 years.
And then what can we expect? Are you willing to predict that far ahead?
Well, if we take a look at some of the numbers that were used with the financial analysts in New York 2 weeks ago and translate that, I think what you may see is we kind of have a 1.45 ROA company right now, and the effect of consolidating the Texas earnings 3 years down the road might drop our ROA down to, say, 135.
Not a shabby number.
Still a very, very good number. I think we just need to do the right kind of positioning in the marketplace to help people understand that although there may be a slight diminishment of our ROA, we're going to gain a great deal from earnings per share by having done it.
Okay. Thank you, John. We're back to the studio in October.
Thank you very much, Penny.
Well, merging of the numbers may not come immediately, but there has certainly been a merging of the people in this organization. Perhaps it's been most obvious to the teams from Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan, and Wisconsin who traveled to Texas to help conduct those employee meetings we showed you. First, there was a little train the trainer session for all 60 of the team members to familiarize them with the meeting program and with questions they might expect from the Texas employees. But by and large, they were on their own. And for every one of them, it was quite simply the experience of a lifetime.
These have been 3 of the most exciting, rewarding days that I've experienced in my professional life, but I just hope I can express that in words when I get back to Youngstown.
They've welcomed us with the same open arms that we're welcoming them. And again, it's just a feeling as though there's a perfect fit. There's a chemistry that's taking place, and I think we're excited, they're excited, and it's just forming something that is fantastic.
I think if anything, it humbled me a little bit that these people are so enthusiastic that I wish all of us back in Ohio were as enthusiastic as these people are. I mean, it really is amazing. They're so excited.
I think these people see themselves as Bank One. They were so hungry for a focus and for something to be proud of and for something to share with their customers in their pride. And they have it now, and they've grabbed on with a strength and tenacity that is very special.
Some of those team members became celebrities in Texas towns. Racine's Jerry Schwalier and Fenton's Bob Critchfield made quite a splash in both of San Antonio's daily newspapers. And Wade Roth of Indianapolis made the front page of the News Journal in Longview, Texas. But the feeling of partnership between the old and the new Bank One could be felt even by those who didn't get to go to Texas. At Bank One Columbus, the Westerville South office changed its name to Westerville South Fork for a day in honor of the Texas affiliation. Texas chili was served, there were yellow roses, and employees in Western garb. Westerville South Fork just wanted Ohio customers to know how proud they are to be part of a team that now includes Bank One Texas. Well, the partnership and the feeling of unity that has been developed during this affiliation can only make this a stronger company. Here's John B. McCoy.
Well, I think you may be getting the idea by now that we're all pretty happy about the events in Texas. I think one of the most remarkable aspects of all of this is the spirit of the people involved. The people in Texas and all the people in the old Bank One states. Those of you who've been around for a while have heard me say so many times that banking really is people. I just couldn't be more pleased with the response to this affiliation from all of our people. I've been getting a lot of letters and calls from all over the Bank One states to tell me what a wonderful reception the Bank One teams received in Texas, and to tell me how good it feels in Texas to be part of this great team. This is a letter from employees in Fort Worth. It says, "A special thanks to all the Bank One personnel who gave up their holiday and family time to make this 4th of July week a truly memorable celebration. John Stowe and Steve Weissmuller did an outstanding job in bringing the Bank One story to all the Fort Worth employees. They were excellent Bank One ambassadors." And these are from employees in the Clear Lake office in Houston, to everyone in Indianapolis and Maryville who participated in welcome messages in the video that was shown in Texas during the orientation meetings. These are signed from 30 new Bank One Texas employees who care. You notice the old M-Bank stationery has been temporarily revised. I know everyone in Texas is anxious to have new stationery and business cards and signs on the buildings. That's all coming. It just takes a little time. Speaking of business cards, I think this one really tells the story of what all of you in Texas have been through during the last few months. This is Dean Cochran's business card. He's the president of the bank in Austin, and I think Dean must really be happy to know his new business cards will be permanent. So perhaps the greatest feeling is that the uncertainty is over. You've heard Jim Gardner say, "We are fixed," and now we can all get back to the business of banking. And that's where this great spirit we all have will really make a difference. I know you've lost a lot of customers, and it's been difficult to be optimistic, but you are the ones to bring those customers back. You are the ones to make this thing work. And if you keep that tremendous feeling of optimism and spirit that we've all seen so far, there's just no way to keep Bank One Texas from becoming the biggest and best banking organization in the state. Your customers really can't respond to newspaper articles or TV reports about what's happened. They can only respond to you, and from what I've seen, they're just as anxious to see a successful banking organization in Texas as you are. So I think you can see the opportunities are just endless, and you are the folks to make it all work. Now, since we've begun the process of getting to know each other, we have really become convinced that this affiliation was absolutely the right thing to do. But what makes this great success even better is that the financial world seems to agree with us. I know a lot of you have been watching our stock price go up, and it really has been phenomenal. On the day after the announcement, the price went up nearly 5 points, and 4 million shares were traded, our highest one-day total ever. As you can see, the rise continued for 2 weeks, and the total gain has been nearly 10 points. We've been trading about 500,000 shares a day instead of our usual 150,000. The important thing is what that all means in terms of market value. In the past year, the market value of our stock has risen nearly $2 billion, almost doubling the value of our company. And what that says is that the customer, the investor, thinks that we at Bank One are doing the right thing. And of course, this was only reinforced when we announced the transaction with Texas. You know, it's a great time to be a member of this great team and to invest in our company. None of you will ever know a company better than this one, and your confidence can do great things for us. Well, we want to thank everyone in Texas and everyone at Old Bank One. What a bang-up job you all did over the 4th of July. We couldn't have had a better start. We're going to have a lot of fun together. We're going to work hard together, and we're going to be successful together.
These are our kind of folks. These are the kind of people we need in Texas. And I know every one of you, after today, totally agrees with that.
The people were ready to go. They've got emotion. They're our kind of people.
Hi, I'm Lisa Ford. I'm so excited about being a part of Bank One. I'm going to send this home to Mom.
Hi, I'm Michael Acosta.
And I'm Linda Crum.
And we're from San Antonio, home of the Alamo. Welcome, Bank One.
Well, we're excited. That word has been used a lot of recent, but we really are and couldn't be happier.
I think it's fantastic. We've been waiting for so long to have a profitable bank behind us, and we're going to be able to sell and have a great time.
This is the atrium of the downtown Dallas headquarters building. On the day after the FDIC announcement, 3,000 employees were lining the balconies of this atrium ready to greet John B. McCoy as he came into the bank to introduce himself. There has been some shifting in the management ranks at Bank One since the Texas affiliation. Robert Potts is leaving Bank One Ohio Corporation to come to Texas and manage the collection group charged with recovering problem assets for the FDIC. Replacing him as chairman and CEO in Ohio is Donald McWhorter, who leaves the Services Corporation. David Van Leer is moving to the top spot in the Services Corporation. And finally, since Tom Hoagland is no longer in Dayton, Don Castle has been elected to chairman and CEO at Bank One Dayton. It's been a little hard to tell by this report so far, but Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, and Wisconsin were actually in business during the second quarter. However, this first item is business disguised as entertainment. In Columbus, it was a Blues Brothers revival for the kickoff of a new money market product appropriately named True Blue. Columbus employees were invited to a rally featuring some unlikely counterfeit celebrities. John B. McCoy and Columbus retail chief Chuck Sulariski were quite a hit as the Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi lookalikes. This well-known talk show host explained how True Blue's rate is tied to the Donahue Money Fund average. But the real crowd pleasers were Bob Potts and Columbus president Bill Bennett.
You know, we've set a goal to raise over $50 million in new deposits, and the folks out there in this room who are going to be the most successful part of our team are going to help us make that happen.
Bill, I've been associated with Bank One Columbus for a long time now, better than 15 years, and I have full confidence that this goal will not only be achieved, it'll be exceeded by a long shot.
Well, Bob, we appreciate that. Now I think it's time to say goodnight. But you know, we want to be sure we make a proper and appropriate exit.
Can we make it special?
Sure. All right.
Speaking of celebrities, well-known organizational change expert and author of When Giants Learn to Dance, Rosabeth Cantor, appeared on the Today Show in April and then flew directly to a seminar held for past Bank One college graduates. Her message recognizes the Bank One philosophy.
And so unless you have an organization that really understands how to both be focused and entrepreneurial in your own unit and at the same time form teams across units, it's going to be impossible to be fast-moving enough, flexible enough to succeed.
Across the heartland in the second quarter, we caught up with HUD Secretary Jack Kemp, speaking at the Gary, Indiana Urban League President's Luncheon and praising Bank One Merrillville and President Jim Danderand for a plan to rehabilitate a downtown residential block.
And to the bank president who suggested that pride is associated with home ownership, and pride is associated with housing, and pride is associated with rehabilitating existing community property. I was thinking that'd be a pretty good sermon.
That kind of pride was apparent in this locally produced program on Cleveland's urban pioneers. Bank One Cleveland's support of downtown development with the financing of the Gordon Square Arcade rehabilitation was praised in the program.
Bank One had a strong feeling and a strong commitment to our community. We can't be what we ought to be if our communities are not what they ought to be.
The ultimate goal of the Gordon Square Arcade is to provide services that meet the needs of the people in the community.
In Indiana, Indy 500 fever swept through the corporation as usual, as several Indiana affiliates took the opportunity to promote Indiana's Pace Setter CD. Billy Vukovich, last year's Bank One Rookie of the Year in the Indianapolis 500, was on hand to sign autographs and pose for pictures with Bank One fans. Sports fever gets equal billing in Milwaukee, home of the Bucks, where Bank One Milwaukee sponsored tickets to Bucks games for outstanding public school students throughout the season. For many of the kids, it was a first-ever professional basketball game. And speaking of entertainment, this is the Bank One College Spring of '89 class putting on its own graduation radio program. Station WONE, of course, turned out to be quite a showcase for hidden talent, including sportscasting.
For those CEOs missing their second quarter budget, John B. McCoy has announced a new sporting event. The ropes course, without a safety harness.
And then there was the playlist. Music pirated, words original.
Say the neon lights are bright on Wall Street. They say our quality will save the day.
You have gone through it. You have faced the devil and won, so to speak. And it is a new day, and it's a wonderful day.
My choice happened. If I were able to write a script for the conclusion of this, I don't think I would have dared to write one so good.
Hi, I'm Eric Allen.
Hi, I'm Deborah Schultz.
Glad to have you in San Antonio, Bank One.
Hi, Bank One. We're San Antonio, deep in the heart of Texas.
Well, before we leave this rather windy state of Texas, I thought you all might like to meet a man who bills himself as the only banker the FDIC has ever said anything good about. This is Jim Gardner, who was appointed by the FDIC as president of the Bridge Bank during the interim period before the Bank One Texas affiliation. And Jim, let me just read to our audience a little bit what was said about you by the FDIC. If the situation came about, the FDIC would certainly want you as a candidate to run another bank because you did such an excellent job. Now, I'm just wondering if that's a possibility.
Penny, I hope this last job I had was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It was a great experience, but I'll never want to use it again.
and of course, Mr. Gardner, as we told you earlier, has accepted the vice chairmanship of Bank One Texas. He has been with Bank One Texas, the former M-Bank Dallas, for 34 years, and we thought it would be a good time to ask you a little bit about the uniqueness of the Texas marketplace. There's been a lot of talk about how different a marketplace this is for Bank One than our traditional Midwestern marketplaces. Talk a little bit about that for us, Jim. What makes Texas so different?
Penny, I spent July the 4th with 80 of your associates out at our Dallas-Fort Worth airport, and I found out that there's a lot of amazing similarities between the way the Bank Ones operate in Ohio and Indiana and Wisconsin and the way that M-Bank Texas used to operate and Bridge Bank Texas will now. We're very heavily oriented to middle market businesses, to people that have a reason to do business with us. In the Midwest, there's a lot more manufacturing than it is down here. In this area, a lot more distribution, so more reliance upon receivables and inventory and current assets as collateral or backing for the loan. But a great deal of similarity between the way we posture ourselves and the type of customer that we try to go after.
If you were going to pick a problem that might come about, what would you say it would be?
The only problem I can think of is people getting too enthusiastic and wanting to go out too fast and grab up all the business.
Well, that's what we're looking for, right?
That's absolutely right. That's the greatest problem to have.
Okay, thanks very much, Jim, and welcome to Bank One Corporation.
I'll tell you, I couldn't, if we had formed a search committee to go out and find who to merge with, it would have been Bank One. There is no one that we'd rather be a partner with than Bank One Corporation.
And now that you have quarterly report experience, we'll be asking you back in future reports, Jim.
Great, Penny.
Okay, thanks very much. And thank all of you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this view of the new Bank One Texas from Dallas. I'll see you again in October back in the studio.
Hi, y'all, from Capital Markets in Bank, Texas, in Houston.